virologist, philanthropist, bakist, Dr. Eltricia Foster wears very many hats, and she joins us now to tell us how she's been managing everything while running her pastry shop, Sugar Spoon Dessert. She joins us this morning from, where are you this morning? Tell us, Doc.
I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Minnesota. Good to have you with us this morning. How are things on your end, on your side of the world?
It's been good. It's getting a little chilly, but it's all right.
Yes, it's chilly here too.
It is the fall.
Really in the studio, but not really outside. Okay, so tell us how you ended up in Minnesota. You say it was predestined, your journey there.
Well, I got to Minnesota by way of a marriage. My husband, his family is based in Minnesota, and I actually got married here. And just for some additional stability for our children, we decided that we were going to, there's my family. We decided that the best place for us would be in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Your family is beautiful there, Doc.
Thank you so much.
Young PhD.
Yeah.
But you've done quite a bit since you went to Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about that, because you've been even critical and central to the role of the development of some vaccines as well.
Correct. So I went to Howard University, so most of my time was spent on the East Coast. So Minnesota is fairly new to me. I've been here 2.5 years. But upon graduation from Howard University, my passion was really to do some work in virology, and vaccines, fall squarely into that role. And I started working with a vaccine scientist who has done exceptional work at looking at vaccine that is solely related to pneumococcal disease and combating pneumococcal disease in children and elderly.
Okay, but before Howard, there was UTech. And before UTech, there was St. Mary's All-Age School. And where was high school?
High school was Campion.
See, we're talking about Campion this morning. So what kind of foundation did you get here, Doc, to help you to kind of follow that passion and just get the trajectory up and, on shooting when you did leave Jamaica?
Yeah, that's a good question. For me, Mike, I would say that Jamaica has been one of the best place, or I would say developmentally for me as an individual. I think it's the pride and the zeal to achieve that I gained in Jamaica. But there's some aspects of Jamaica that was pretty traumatic for me. And I think that is what actually propelled me to continue to achieve things that I saw in myself, that I know that because of my financial barriers and my emotional challenges, I would never be able to achieve at home. So I just wanted more. And I thought that the only way for me was to really change environments per se. And I challenged myself to really push through it. When I left Jamaica, Simone, I left with $900 for Howard University, no tuition, nothing. I just had this immense amount of potential, and I just wanted more for myself. I just could not just settle for just being this impoverished child with that potential. Just never saw it come to fruition.
Gosh, Doc, that is very moving, because that is a story of so many of our young people.
Yeah.
It's not the anomaly. A lot of young people, I always remember CEO of Grace Kennedy saying that what young people need is the opportunity. It's not that they don't have talent and they don't have skill and they're not smart. They oftentimes just don't have the resources to get it done.
Absolutely.
So you've been able to self-actualize since you left Jamaica.
Actually, yes. Because, I could have easily become one of those needle in the haystack Jamaican children in our foundation. We're so full of potential, right?
Yeah.
And, we're the structure of our curriculum really does put us in a position to be up against the best of the best in the world. And sometimes it's just the financial barrier that often is a setback. And in my case, I could have easily been that girl.
Wow, I feel like we could dig into this part of your life easily, and need more time. So let's leave that bit and head on to this part, which I find very intriguing. So in everything else that you do now, obviously this your creative outlet is baking, and you ended up in baking. You say this is the most intriguing part of you. So tell me about that journey. How did I mean, this was through pregnancy that you ended up in baking.
Yes, and I say it's intriguing because for me, I just did not know I had that gift at all. My other gifts, I would say I knew them. You know, I knew my potential in education and the ability to retain stuff and be successful, right? But as far as baking is concerned, it was just not one of those things. It was not in my wheelhouse, I would say. But then I really did have a difficult pregnancy, and I was challenged to take a cookie class, and I did it, and I just grasped most of the concepts, and yeah, those are my cakes.
So how did you end up baking a cake for the bachelorette?
Yeah.
That's a big
So
deal.
it is a big deal, and it's really exciting. So the Bachelor was actually shooting in Minnesota. I think the new season of The Bachelorette that starts in October, the Bachelorette is actually from Minnesota. So I think they were really exploring the opportunity to use local bakers to really produce a cake that would be fitting for their brand for their 200th celebration.
Wow. So how they found you, Doc? Instagram? Where they found you?
Instagram. Actually, someone recommended my Instagram to them. They went there and I guess they saw what they liked, and here we are.
No
I
pressure,
guess.
right?
No, I'm joking. It was hella pressure. Because first you get intimidated by just seeing an email from Warner Brothers.
Of course. My word,
Yeah.
that cake would almost flop for me. I'd be so nervous. But great opportunity for you. You're the owner of Cake Therapy, right? It's
Yeah.
a baking
Yep.
outlet system for impacted girls who use baking as a tool for therapy. I
Yeah.
love that. I
Yep.
love that.
Thank you.
Wow. Wow. How does that work? And have you
Yeah.
seen it working?
It does work, and I've seen it working. Um, Baking is what grounds me. It's ignoring all the other things that I do and have done. But for me, when I get into the kitchen, it is what brings me from a 10 right down to zero, I would say. And I've seen like girls who've entered into my program. It really does calm them. It's improved the relationships with their parents or the mom, because we do have like sessions where girls come in with their mothers to cook, and it's like it's conversational. They're doing it together, and it's really one of the first steps into rebuilding relationships. I mean, I was a horrible teenager, right? So I understand those experiences of a mother and a daughter, and I've seen where just baking with me outside of the relationship, I'm just the external place. I provide the platform for a mother and a daughter to be able to bake, or even a young lady to come into a space and just bake.
Fantastic. Reading here, it says, closing the chapter, Altricia is Jamaican, deathly shy, even though I
Yeah.
would not have known that this morning, humble and uber private. She is a mother, a wife. She is Lorna's daughter, Mas Tiny and Miss Gurley's granddaughter, a woman born from poverty, a broken home, broken lives, a survivor of adult indiscretions, but she bakes through the pain, the memories of past hurt. She's alive, she's here, and she's ready to serve her country when called to do so. This sounds to me like there's a book in here somewhere.
I don't know that there's a book, Simone, because like I mentioned, like I'm really protective of my space, my energy, and my life, So I could write it down. I mean, there is really a story. There's been some trauma that has propelled me to this space. There's been hurt that has propelled me to this space. And I think those are the things that really have led me here. But the things that really have sustained me is really my mother and my grandmother and my grandfather before he passed on. Like we were grounded in spirituality and the gospel and the spirit of trying and just being proud. So those are the things that have kept me, but there are some things that could have easily pulled the threads of my life apart.
Testament to your strength and to your drive and to your support system, and to your heritage. Because, you know, Jamaican people, I mean, it may be wrong to think that we're different, but we're strong. We're strong. Beautiful, beautiful story. Thank you for sharing it with us this morning. Doc, really appreciate it. Virologist, philanthropist, and owner of Sugar Spoon Desserts, Dr. Altricia Foster. All the best to you, Doc. Take good care.
Thank you.
On the other side of the break, we are looking on the life and the work of Jamaica's songbird, Karen Smith. We have that after this.